Okay, I'm back. A little flu bug take me down for a couple days, so I'm finally here, and let's discuss something. In fact, let's have a big discussion tonight about communist activism, who funds it, who organizes it, how does it work? Because what we're seeing right now, what's been a hot topic for the last 48, 72 hours, I know because I've been laying in bed dying, is all this USAID stuff. USAID, this government organization that takes in our money and hands it out to whoever they want across the globe. Now, I want you to pause for a moment, and I want you to think about what the last 2 weeks has been. It's been 2 weeks. Trump's been president. Think about, just pause for a moment and think about all the things he's done. Remember that fat stack of executive orders first day, January 6 pardons and DEI this and this and that. All kinds of things have been done in the first 2 weeks. Now, let me ask you this, now that you're thinking about that. How many things has Trump done that has prompted a reaction from Chuck Schumer like this?
We cannot allow Elon Musk and a small group of people to secretly, behind closed doors, take away our privacy, take away our dollars, take away everything we have. We are going to fight this fight. I am going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win. 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 We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
A little bit cringy, but you get what I'm saying. Why? That wasn't just Chuck Schumer. I could sit here for an hour and play for you all the most powerful Democrats in the country rallying, protesting. Oh my gosh, USAID, we have to have USAID. Geez, don't take away our USAID. Ah! Why the freak out? It's been 2 weeks. There's been all kinds of things Trump has done. Why is it the USAID? I mean, gosh, they're out there on the microphone, sounded like the Democrats of a couple years ago. We got taken to the streets.
Shut down the Senate! We are at war! Agitating. We will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi Nepo baby. We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it. So let me tell you something, Mr. Trump. You gonna learn a few lessons from us. And I'm gonna be the first one. You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out, all right?
Better recognize why. All these things have been done. Why? Okay, so let's have a talk, shall we? Just a little analogy before we move on and talk to Josh Hammer and Ali Bestucky and other things. I want you to picture this. It's the Great Depression, okay? It's the Great Depression. And you've read books, maybe you watched movies about how guys would line up in the morning trying to just get some work that day. Line up, you go down to the dock, you line up, and you try to get picked that day. And there's a guy, always. There's a guy sitting there who works for the company, and it's his job to pick the people. Hey, you showed up early, I'll pick you. Hey, I'll pick you. So he's the one who gets to pick, who gets to work all day. And sometimes that same guy who was picking, hey, you, and you can work. Sometimes that same guy at the end of the day, he's the one who hands out the cash from that day. Because they used to pay people daily during the Depression. People had to eat. Hey, Bob, here you go. Here's your money, and here's your money. You with me? Okay. So you are that guy. The guy who gets to pick people, the guy who gets to pay people. And it's been this way for years. No matter what the dock company was doing, no matter who was managing it, no matter who was owning it, no matter what they were doing, shipping, unloading, it didn't matter at all. You were the guy holding on to that choke point of power. And with that choke point of power over several years, what could you do with it? It didn't matter what the manager screamed, what the owner screamed. Pick your friends. Hey, Bob, hey, come on in. Hey, Jimmy, my cousin. Come on, Jimmy, I'll get you in. Because you're the one who gets to choose. Didn't matter what the management decided. You're the one who gets to choose. And on the way out the door, you have the bag full of money. Maybe cousin Jimmy only earned $50 that day. Because he's cousin Jimmy, maybe give you a little bit of it back. Maybe you give him 100. You have the money. Whatever the rules are, whatever the laws are, that's someone else's problem. You have the money, you see. And then I want you to imagine this. After years of this total control, who comes in, who leaves, where the money goes, the manager shows up and he introduces you to someone who's going to do your job, just like you. In fact, he's going to take over half the time. How offended would you feel? How threatened would you feel? How angry would you feel? What you're seeing right now, the collective freakout from Democrats across the United States of America at Donald Trump going after USAID. One, it's the very tip of the iceberg, meaning there is this massive, massive iceberg where you, the taxpayer at the federal, state, and local level, are funding the communist activism you see in the streets. And what Democrats are looking at right now is, for the first time in my adult life, in my 43 years on this planet, they're looking at finally a GOP administration that doesn't just issue orders, executive order here, and well, this is the law, and then sits back watching these filthy communists kneecap them from the inside. No. Those days are over. Now, the GOP has finally figured out that the communist activists who have occupied positions of power in our government, well over 90% Democrat, they have been making all the decisions on behalf of the company, no matter who gets elected, and they've been doing this for decades. For decades. Didn't matter, Republican, Democrat, didn't matter. The various communists and various agencies across the federal government and your state government, across the federal government, they've simply decided, well, I don't care if Donald Trump wins. I don't care if Joe Biden wins. I don't care if I have communist activism to do, and nothing will stop me. You see, I control the paychecks. I control who comes in, who's going to get that government contract. I control what money goes out, where that money goes. Nobody will ever stop me. No one has ever even taken an interest in stopping me. And after decades and decades and decades of this, what Democrats have done, very sharply, I should point out, although it's corrupt, is they've figured out a system that can domestically and internationally take your money from you, take taxpayer money, and hand it out to their friends, funding Democrat activism. You and I have had this talk a million times on the show, that the Democrat activism you see in the streets, the protesting, the rioting, but it doesn't matter whether it's a rally on Capitol Hill or they're burning down Foot Locker. 99.9% of the communist activism you see in the streets is funded and organized. It's not organic. It's not people just mad about St. George Floyd. It's funded. It's organized. Now, you know that because we've talked about it many times on the show, but what you may not know and what might make you uncomfortable is how much of that communist activism on our streets and foreign soil is organized and funded by you, by the taxpayer. Because years of neglect from the voter has left Democrats in charge of everything, handing out those envelopes of money and deciding who gets that next contract. An ugly, corrupt criminal system that is finally getting exposed. And that's why you didn't see a collective communist freak out when Donald Trump was signing executive orders, getting rid of DEI here, or doing this to the drug cartels there. But he walks into USAID and starts eliminating these positions. He starts investigating exactly what they've been doing with the money. And immediately it's time to take it to the streets. You better recognize. That's why they freaked out. Because the actual power they have, the power of hoovering up your money, that is what's being threatened. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.